big guy is burning up for some action with today's game, Super Godzilla for your Super Nintendo. Let's go ahead and take Super Godzilla, pop it in my SNES, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Roar. Super Godzilla was published by Toho and released in the States in 1994. It is based on the popular movie franchise. It came out at a time when a new Mechagodzilla movie was being released in Japan but hadn't yet reached the States. Because of this, the US version features an older design of Mechagodzilla compared to the Japanese version. The manual opens with the following. In Super Godzilla, you operate Godzilla with all his huge power and ferocity and enjoy powerful battles between monsters, complete with resounding battle cries. The game has two game modes. In movement mode, you move Godzilla through cities and crushing mountains. In battle mode, you fight dynamic one-on-one battles with enemy monsters. This game introduces a new type of battle system. You make Godzilla attack while you watch the level of his fighting spirit and that of his enemy. When Godzilla unleashes one of his major techniques, such as fire breath, the screen switches to a powerful animation. This is just as exciting as watching a movie. Super Godzilla is a 6-stage action game for one player only with one standard mode of difficulty. From the options screen, you could choose stereo or mono sound and perform a music and sound test. Each stage is separated into two different sections. You start moving Godzilla around an area with the D-pad, using the face buttons to acknowledge text and the shoulder buttons to see a map of the area. On the bottom left, you see Godzilla's energy and time remaining, and on the bottom right, you see the direction you are moving and the distance from the main monster of that level. Godzilla moves faster over regular land and slower moving through water and objects. Some objects on screen, like skyscrapers and rocky mountains, cause your signal you're using to control Godzilla to cut off, meaning you can't move through them. Other buildings and smaller mountains can be moved through, although it will cost some energy. Artillery, which shows up when you get near, can also hit you, although you could just simply walk over them to destroy them, but watch out for mines. Power lines hurt you, although you could take out the structures that hold the lines. Blue power stations can recharge you. Yellow areas can serve one of many functions, such as giving you advice, transporting you somewhere else, giving you energy, or giving you an item to save for battle. You can save up to 4 items, but you cannot manage your inventory outside of battle. After the first level, you will discover that aliens are summoning monsters to destroy everything. UFOs will attack you at random, but your fire breath is deadly to them. Orange areas usually feature a mothership that, if destroyed, will end the random UFO encounters for that stage, but later the orange area could house a special base. The main goal of each stage is to reach the main monster. Once you reach the monster or UFO, you will go to the fighting screen. Here you use what the manual calls the fighting spirit system. Here you will see the energy points of both you and your enemy, as well as bars for each of you. When you move towards an enemy, your bar grows. Retreating shrinks it. The longer the bar, the more powerful your potential attacks. Your goal is to first get close enough to the enemy to punch them with the A button. Once you punch them, you then pull back as special attacks are shown at the bottom center, like a tail attack, body strike, fire breath, and hyper fire breath. A question mark will also appear that selects a random attack. Pressing the A button when an attack is shown will unleash it. However, this is not as easy as it sounds. The enemy is often able to pull off attacks too, meaning you have to start the attack process all over again. And some enemies are immune to certain attacks or can only be attacked with a certain attack. As you progress in the game, you will need to learn the art of not just heading for a straight attack, but only moving in when your opponent's white bar is at a weak point. You can also press the R button to bring up your inventory menu, using items that can heal you or improve your stats by pressing the L button. From here you can also retreat, giving you a chance to travel around again, gathering more items or healing yourself. If you beat the main boss, you move on to the next stage. If you die or if your timer runs out, you could use one of your limited continues to pick up right where you left off, meaning your enemy's energy level will remain how you left it. When you complete a stage, if you earn enough points, you can earn more continues. During the last 2 stages, you will have the opportunity to become Super Godzilla, who can destroy buildings without being harmed, use more powerful attacks, and during the fighting screen can hold the E button to charge and release it to throw a long distance punch. Graphically speaking, this game is very nice looking. Godzilla and the monsters look great, as do the anime-style cutscenes during the fights. The music and sounds are also very well done, with some rockin' Godzilla-style music and a great version of his roar. Family-friendly wise, the game would most likely get an E for everyone rating it for release today. Currently at PriceTryon.com, the game has a value of $18 loose, $45 complete, and $143 new. So what do I think of Super Godzilla for the Super Nintendo? First of all, I must admit that I am a Godzilla fan, which makes me a little biased. And as a fan, I really dig the look and sounds of the game, as well as the monsters you fight. But all is not well with this game. The pace is almost painfully slow, and the lack of a password system doesn't help out. At least in the Japanese version, there was a cheat to skip levels. It took me over 2 hours to play through the game, but since I didn't have that much time at once, I actually had to go old school, pausing the game and leaving the system on for several hours until I could play it again. I also wish there was an inventory system of sorts, instead of being forced to pick up whatever you find and quickly filling up your 4-item limit. And the fighting system, which is really hard to master, honestly feels a little clumsy too. When you think of Godzilla fighting, it doesn't seem natural to bob and weave rather than go right after your enemy, and it doesn't help that Godzilla's reach is really short, meaning just to land the starting punch can be an exercise of frustration. But despite the drawbacks, once I got used to the game, I actually did enjoy playing through it. The replayability is really limited, so I may not return to it much, but I don't regret playing it, and it would have made for a perfect weekend rental when I was a kid. So where am I going to rank Super Godzilla? Yoshi's Island is better at 3, but I will put this over Porky's Haunted House at 4. So out of the 6 games that now ranked for the Super Nintendo, Super Godzilla is roaring into the 4 position. Super Godzilla is not for everybody, but patient Godzilla fans should give it a chance if they happen to come across a copy. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe, and follow me both on the Facebook and Twitter, and click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. You can also hear me talk about this game in episode 162 of the SNES podcast. Thank you, Greg and Joe, for having me on. At this time, I'd like to thank all my generous supporters on Patreon. If you think these videos give you at least $1 per month of information and entertainment, please consider signing up to become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/nosweargamer. Not only will you help keep the show going, but you may also get a chance to nominate and vote on games for me to review. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, especially when controlling an all-powerful monster.